Check one, check a sound check. बोले श्री गजानन स्वामी की जय. बोले श्री सत्य नारायण Swami ki jai. Devotees, this morning, let me say a word of welcome to you. Warm return to all of you as we resume with our Sunday morning devotions. I want to express the hope that last week Sunday, our mothers, particularly the ones in Dharma Inc., you had a very wonderful, enjoyable Mother's Day and you felt as important as you certainly are. This morning we continue on with our devotions, our Sunday morning devotions as we call it. And I hope as we begin again this morning to lead you in a spiritually uplifting exercise, one that sets our week up in a very positive, in a very focused, and in terms of progress in an affirmative way. Remember, all of this can and it will be achieved this morning if we devotees, all of us individually, make that required effort. That effort requisite individually is also requisite collectively, because when we do devotions, as I say, we never do devotions alone. This morning I urge you to join with everyone as we engage. As I urge us to all join together, I want to say a word of welcome to all of our listeners who may be newly or now just acquainting yourselves with Dharma Inc. Welcome to Sri Vishnu Sahasranam Mandir. A word of welcome to the devotees who may be listening from far distances outside of our state and our country also. I want to say a word of welcome also to listeners on Swarg Sangeet HD who are streaming this morning through Roshan Ramdeen. Welcome to all of you, and of course devotees to our Dharma Inc. family. I personally convey my greetings, my salutations to you. We begin now with invocation, as we do, as you, I hope, have now grown accustomed to doing. We open our devotions calling out to Narayan Bhagwan, Om Sri Param Atmane Namah, Ananta Hari Narayanaya Namaha. If you have it ready, then we can follow along in our printouts, our cheat sheets, so to speak. And if we've been doing this for years and years, decades now, lifetime in many cases, we engage, we close our eyes, we internalize, we begin to place ourselves at the feet of the Lord. We say, Om Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Tat Sat. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Bhagavan He Ram, He Ram, He Ram, He Ram, हमें दया करो. गुरुर ब्रह्मा गुरुर विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. ॐ सिद्धे बुद्धे प्रदे देवी भुक्ते मुक्ते प्रदायिनी मंत्रमूर्ति सदा देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते। श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि वरणो रघुवर विमल जसु जो दायक फलचार बोधहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मुहे हरहु कलेश विकार सिया पते रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम। हे नाथ मम संकट हरो हरि। सत्यनारायण स्वामी की जय। As we complete invocation this morning, we now proceed into our devotions themselves. This morning I hope, my plan is to lead you in a bit of dhyan. Then after we've completed dhyan, we do 20 minutes or so of chanting. We chant, we alleviate devotees the burdens of this world, and we expose the consciousness to its true origin again, its Nitya. We connect with Hari, we connect with the Lord. We do that for about 20 minutes or so. Today I hope to raise awareness of the importance of that special occasion I had mentioned earlier when we posted our invitation, to raise importance of a vrat, a very important vrat, and this will be included in my message. Then we will, of course, join in a brief final arati, and the intention is to close at 10 a.m. or just about. Now we bring the consciousness into its own. When we sit at times like these, and in a quiet environment, we begin to one by one eliminate the so-called noises in our life. We realize that our existence radiates at many different, disparate, sometimes contradictory frequencies. And these frequencies come in the form of thoughts. They even come in the form of ideas and intent. And we're just a bundle of randomized and sometimes just, it seems, irrational thoughts and ideas just clashing with each other. It's almost as if we are in a very subtle battle of energies in our own bodies. This is you and I. This is the situation we find ourselves in. Sometimes we become so used to it that we adapt. Now, when we sit to perform dhyan, we reverse that idea. I invite you this morning, as you quiet the thoughts, as you quiet the consciousness, as you quiet the workings of the body in preparation for dhyan, we realize we sit alone. We sit bare. We sit exposed. We sit naked, but nakedly truthful to who we are. Nakedly truthful to who we fundamentally are blessed to be. and this is Jivatma. This is the Bare Bhagya of Manushya, or the human form. Or we sit nakedly truthful with ourselves, we realize that there is only one connection that holds supremacy above everything else. And that connection is outside of us, hence we develop a relationship. That relationship is Bhakti. In these few moments, we sit with ourselves exposed in this way. We open ourselves to the Lord. Even as we do dhyan, subliminally the message becomes this. We say, Bhagwan, as we live our lives, as we live all of these different changes that come, even with the passing of a moment, time changes. Bhagwan, the fundamentals remain true. Bhagwan, we seek the fundamentals this morning. We fundamentally, O Swami, sit at your feet and seek to unite with you. We call your name, O Bhagwan. Unify us in spirit. Unify us in frequency. Unify us with you, Swami, as we chant your name. Hari Om Sri Paramatmane Namaha. Hari Om Sri Ananta Hari Narayana Sri Ananta Hari Ananta Hari Narayana. Om Mukam Karoti Vachalam. Om Mukam Karoti Vachalam. Pangulam Dhayate Girim. Yat Kripatamaham Vande. Yat Kripatamaham Vande. Paramananda Madhavam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vasudevaya. Hari 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 Om Hari Om Narayanaya Vidmahe Vasudevaya Dhimahi Tanno Vishnu Prachodayat. Satyanarayana Swami ki jai. We perform dhyan in this way. We unify the individual self with the divine self, and then we offer it to the divine. Our offering, part of our dhyan, becomes our chaupai. As we sing, I urge you to put your voices in. Again, if you have your handouts, you follow. This is a very powerful compilation. It says, Pravisi Nagar Kije Sab Kaja Hiridaya Rakhi Kaushalapura Raja. It starts in the most beautiful of the Kand of Ramayana Katha, Sundar Kand, where Hanuman Swami is given the blessing, the permission to enter into Lanka. Remember, Hanuman Swami is Ramakaj. He is representative of the motivated, the disciplined, the focused mind. And he, in that Ati Laghu Roop, or that most minute, subtle form, infiltrates Lanka. Lanka devotees is the mind. So high consciousness infiltrates into the mind and it awakens the mind to true reality. The blessing to achieve this is Kaushalapura Raja. Hridaya Rakhi Kaushalapura Raja. When we emblazon devotees within the consciousness, the name Ram, 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 Ram. We join in Chaupai. Pravisi Nagar ki jai sab raja, Hridaya Rakhi Kaushalapura Raja, Rat chari siya sahit After engaging in Chaupai in this way, we now move to worship Ganapati. We find ourselves today, I believe I speak for most people globally, when I say we become now a little bit more accustomed to our new reality. And if you recall a few weeks prior, right here as we performed this adapted form of devotion, I shared with everyone who was listening, I drew to your attention and I alerted you that life will never go back to being the same. Changes that are being implemented now, some of them, a quantity of that change will remain constant, permanent, if not permanent, at least in the long term. And this morning now we find ourselves growing accustomed to that change. I believe 9 weeks have passed. And in adapting to this change, we now begin to accept a new normal. And with this comes acceptance of this new normal brings with it a new set of, I wouldn't say problems so much, but complications. Because the norm becomes what we're accustomed to. And then instinctively we fall back into the old ways. Instinctively we fall back into a lull, in a sense of lack of complete alertness. And then we sit this morning to perform prayer and we realize that it is a dangerous game to play. When that dawns on us, one of the first things that should ignite within the consciousness is the need to not only stay alert, but to stay aware. How do we stay aware? Our individual limited brain cannot make us fully aware. So what we do to address this and to stay completely sufficiently aware at the least and completely aware at the best is we turn to the divine. We turn to the divine not because there is an external force that is going to impact what we do. We turn to the divine so that by doing so we literally rotate our consciousness 180 degrees inwardly, and we realize that if we stoke divinity within, we will be completely aware and prepared with divine energy. Ganapati is the remover of obstacles. We go to him this morning. We say, Prabhu, clear the obstacles, the seen and the unseen, the cognitive and the unconscious, oh Bhagwan, clear the path so that we enjoy success, spiritual success. We use bhajan, beautiful bhajan, traditional bhajan. I invite you to join me. Say, Jai Ganesh Gananath Dayanidhi, Sakal Vighan Karadur Hamari. Jai Ganesh Gananath Dayanidhi, Sakal Vighan Karadur Hamari. You put the voices in. Jaya Ganesh Gananath Dayanidhi, Sakala Vighna Karadur Hamari. Join again, devotees. I leave the opportunity for you as you sit in your homes to chant. If we feel a little bit self-conscious about chanting loudly, then we chant softly. We close our eyes and we internalize and we begin our dialogue with Ganapati. We say, Jaya Ganesha Gananath दयानिधि गजानन स्वामी की जय. After worshipping Ganapati, we now take our attentions to Devi Ma, Jagatambika. When we sincerely go to the divine in devotion, and it seems like I'm in a bit of a talkative mood today, so I would encourage you to listen. The opportunities when they present themselves should be taken. When we sincerely perform our devotion, then the Divine Mother listens. And this is no statement to take lightly, because our motives for performing devotions can sometimes vary. We can perform devotion for the wrong reasons, devotees. Now this is an extreme case if we perform devotion for the wrong reasons. However, we can more frequently in our lives perform devotion for limited reasons. In other words, we make the same effort. Sometimes we pray more intently. Sometimes we crave more deeply, or we beg, so to speak, a little bit louder for less, for a smaller goal. And if by chance, devotees, we get it, we feel happy and we live to do it another day. Now the Divine Mother is the cosmic reality. If we sit and, as I recommended in Dhyana, we open ourselves to the Divine and we focus only on the universality of devotion, the universality of prayer, the universality of this action that we perform. Would it not then, devotees, be wise to believe that the Divine will confer everything that we want? Devotion is a long process, it's a long road. Successful devotion. Sometimes it can be a lonely road. It's a difficult journey at times. But these are not reasons to not persevere. And if we want one reason only this morning to persevere, it is that let us make it this, I'll say. We appeal sincerely to the Divine Mother, and she listens. She listens and she responds and she acts on our behalf and she champions our cause, individually and collectively. This morning we go to Devi Ma, and I do so in a way where we can all join. We sing in our homes, we sing in the consciousness, we seek Ma, we search for her sincerely, because we know she will listen. When we do that, we say, Kya man harana suhaya hai, Kya man harana suhaya hai, Maru sab kuch maa charanon par. Everything is at your feet now, Ma. मेरे मन को ये ढाया है, जगदम्बिके जय जय जग जननी माँ, जगदम्बिके क्या मन हरना सुहाया है, क्या मन हरना सुहाया है, मारो सब कुछ चरणों पर मारो, मेरे मन को ये ध्याया है, जगदम्बिके शरण में आया है जगदम्बिके। Resplendent as Jagadambika, as the divine force of universal motion, universal power. Sankatarani Mangalakarani Sankatarani as we complete devotions to Devi Ma, we now focus our attentions on Shankar Maharaj, Uma Maheshwar. When we perform bhajan and we engage in dialogue in this way, the divine experience becomes a little bit more substantive. We are allowed to not only chant the name of the divine, but express what is truly deeply inside of us to the Lord. It becomes a very personal and individual, a connected experience. This morning, as we focus on Shankar Maharaj, as we turn our attentions to him, we do another pratna, one that I know some of us know. We have joined on many occasions in different places with different pundits and leaders. It is my hope that it is widely known, because it is truly a complete conversation with the Lord. We have instances where the das or the kola, the bhakta, reaches out to the divine as if to say directly, Bhagwan, I am speaking to you. Meera says, Tum bin mori kaun khabarle Govardhan giridhari, if not you, Swami, if not you, who will take my troubles away? Goswami Tulsidas, he says, Tu dayal deen, oh Prabhu, tu dani ho, hum bhikhari. You are the giver of all, and I am the greatest beggar of them all, Swami. I beg of you. Surdas, he says, Dekho chahat kamal nayan, Swami. I am blind and I crave to see kamal nayan, your lotus-like eyes. We assume that role this morning. We become these bhakt. We become these das. We become these servants of the Lord. And in our dialogue this morning, we all join and we say, Dukha haro Prabhu, Dukha haro. Kripa Sindhu, you are the ocean of mercy, of compassion, Swami. Karunanidhi, you grant everything. Sagare Papa haro, we are drowning, Swami. Remove us, alleviate the troubles in our lives. We close our eyes, we internalize, and we join again. We say, Shiva Shankara Daya Karo, Prabhu Dukha Haro, Kripa Sindhu Karuna Nidhi Hamare, Sagare Papa Haro. And the key to the bhajan is Daya Karo, Daya Karo, Daya Karo. Have compassion, O Shankar Maharaj. Shiva Shankara Daya Karo, Dukha Haro. Shiva Kripa Sindhu Karuna Nidhi Hamare, Sagare बीच भवन में नाव हमारी दो रही, दुख की झनकारी हृदय में मरमा रही, बो रही। बम बम भोलेनाथ भक्तों की, बम बम भोलेनाथ भक्तों की, नैया पार करो, दया करो। Prabhu, as I have this conversation with you, Swami, I hope that you listen. I hope that you are hearing the appeal of Shankar Maharaj. क्योंकि पग पग विपदा की बादल Swami, the rains of difficulty are pouring on me. छा रही Swami, छा रही. I'm seeking your shade. झूठी जग की माया में I'm swimming in the ocean of these rains. It has created an ocean and I'm swimming. I'm swimming in this ocean of Maya, Swami. Extract me, Swami. He Trilochan, Papa Vimochan, you know it all, past, present and future. Am I worthy of rescue? Swami, my appeal is sincere. My appeal is true. I seek your rescue. Pag 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 vipta ke badal छा रही, छा रही. पग पग पर विपदा के बादल छा रही, छा रही. झूठी जग की माया में मरमा रही, मरमा रही. हे त्रिलोचन, हे त्रिलोचन, हे त्रिलोचन संगत मोचन, हे त्रिलोचन संगत मोचन, विपदा आन दया करो, शिव शंकर. कृपा सिंधु करुणानिधि हमारे सगरे पाप हरो, दया करो, शिव शंकर शिव, शंकर शिव, शंभो महादेव शंकर शिव. the tension of that conversation, devotees, we release ourselves to the grace of the Lord by, with gay abandon, we chant His name. Shankara Guru, Shankara Guru, Shankara Bhagavat Pada, Shankara Guru. After we worship Shankar Maharaj in this way, it is my desire this morning as we place ourselves completely at the feet of Uma Maheshwar to take the forms of Shankar Maharaj and Satchinarayan and be married and devotees. Hara becomes Hari and Hari becomes Hara. Shivadrohi mama bhagat kahava sunar sapanehu mohina pava. We should all know this little piece of a chaupai that says one can never hope to attain the darshan of Narayan if one neglects to worship Uma Maheshwar. In form, they are different. In energy, they are one and the same. They are Param Atma. We say, Hari Narayana. We say, we go to the Shivala, we go to the home of Shankar Maharaj, and there we see and we worship the form of Sri Ram. We say, Sone ke ya murti bani hai. Sone ke ya murti bani hai. Sita aur Sri Ram, Sita aur Sri Ram, Shiva ji ke Tulsidas, 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 bhajo bhagavana. Tulsidas, bhajo bhagavana. Lakshmana aur Hanuman, Lakshmana aur Hanuman. Shivaji ki mandir, Shivaji ki mandir, Shivaji ki mandir, Shivaji ki mandir. आओ बैठो जबो हरिद्वार, शिवजी के मंदिर में। आओ बैठो जबो हरिद्वार, शिवजी के मंदिर में। आओ बैठो जबो हरिद्वार, शिवजी के मंदिर में। आओ बैठो जबो हरिद्वार, शिवजी के मंदिर, शिवजी के मंदिर, शिवजी के मंदिर में। उमापति महादेव की जय, सत्यनारायण स्वामी की जय, बोले श्री सीतारामचंद्र की जय. This morning, devotees, I want to say blessing to everyone, blessings to everyone for engaging, I'm sure, very well and to the best of your ability in our bhajan kirtan. I would like to take our devotions along a little bit more now as I share with you a message, one that I hope I would like to, while the desire is there to dwell, I would like to keep concise, and I would like to finish today because, like I had mentioned, today is a very powerful day in our lives if we are able to pause and acknowledge and utilize it. The thing about it is that many a times these occasions go past us without us even knowing. Because many a times we focus on the big things. We can't wait for Janmashtami, right? We can't wait for Diwali, right? And sometimes we can't wait for Navratri to done because 9 days fasted. These little sacrifices, I should say these little opportunities for sacrifice, present themselves over and over again. We pass them by, right? We skim over them and we wait for the big ones. And as always with anything, we create more opportunities for ourselves. Then when we grasp those opportunities, we create more opportunities for success. So I will preface everything that I say this morning, everything that I share with you this morning, by saying this. Yes, we can go after the big sacrifices, but how about if we make little sacrifices along the way? How do you feel this will benefit us spiritually? Well, I will tell you, the benefits are tremendous. It strengthens us in a way that once a year sacrifice or occasional sacrifice cannot. So, I will share this with you. We frame what you're about to listen to me share with you. You frame this in your context. And what is your context? Our context in life, it really is progress. We as humans, we want success in our lives. It is in our nature to achieve success. And let us not also take this statement for granted, because for many other species, for many other forms of creation, the objective is survival. You think about it, right? When we read, we go to our science classes, or we went to our science classes, and up to now we look at our documentaries and so on. We see all of these things that constitute Bhagwan's kingdom, the animal kingdom, so to speak, in which we find ourselves to include it, the human animal. We see so many organisms fighting a battle for survival, and it becomes remarkable. It becomes a documentary, so to speak. And we devotees, we look at ourselves and we say, wait now, we are a little bit different. There might be moments in our lives, in our history, like now and so on, when survival becomes paramount. But by and large, we have gotten survival down. We mastered that already. So what do we look for now? What do we do in life that involves more than just survival techniques? How much effort do we make in life that has to involve more than just the minimum to get by? And our traditions, devotees, what traditions do we have to marry into our actions? What traditions do we have to marry into our actions to cultivate and to develop and to advance a thirst, a drive to improve at all times? Well, devotees, when we go on such a quest, when we think about ourselves in this way, in this very high way, this high perception of ourselves, that quest automatically, whether we think about it directly or indirectly, takes us and we reach to Smriti, right? That Smriti, devotees, is our scriptures. It takes us to our scriptures. And this morning, as I begin the essence of my message, I will tell you what our scriptures say in this regard, what I'm talking about. I said today is a very important and auspicious occasion. Our scriptures say, but this shloka says, Narayan Bhagwan is speaking here. Satyanarayana Swami is making a declaration. He says, Vanaspati Naam Tulasi. Vanaspati Naam Tulasi मासानां कार्तिकः प्रियः. वनस्पति नाम तुलसी, मासानां कार्तिकः प्रियः, एकादशी तिथि नाम च क्षेत्र नाम द्वारका मम. वनस्पति नाम तुलसी, मासा नाम कार्तिकः प्रियः, एकादशी तिथि नाम च क्षेत्र नाम द्वारका मम. Narayan Bhagwan is making a declaration, and he says, of all the trees that grow in this world, right? Vanaspati Nam, of all the trees that grow in this world, the Tulsi or Tulsi Devi is the dearest, the most dear to my heart. This is the first thing he says. Vanaspati Nam Tulsi. Then he says, Masa Nam Kartikaha Priya. He says, of all the months of the year, Kartikaha Priya. Kartik Mas is dearest to me. And the devotees of Narayan Bhagwan, we feel joyous when we hear that, for obvious reasons. Then he says, Kshetra Nam Dwarika Mama. Of all the Tirthasthan, or all of the holy places that exist throughout this world, Dwarika Mama. Dwarika is most dear. The kingdom of Krishna Bhagwan is most dear to me. And he says finally, Ekadashi Tithinam. Of all the days of the year, none is as dear to me as Ekadasi. So he identifies the tree that is most dear, the month that is most dear, the place that is most dear, and then he comes to the day that is most dear. And the day that is most dear to Narayan Bhagwan is Ekadasi. Sometimes we hear Ekadasi, we hear Ekadashi, it's all the same. This Ekadasi, devotees, it is one of the highest opportunities we have to gain tremendous benefit if we utilize this day and we make the necessary effort. Today is Ekadasi, this Sunday morning. However, I ask you a question now, if you're listening, or I should say if you're still listening to. How have you started your morning? Dhanya ho, blessings to you. This is what you're doing. On this Ekadasi day, this day that is so dear to the Lord, you have chosen to utilize this day in chanting the name of the Lord. And you know what? You know what one of the most auspicious, one of the greatest things about Ekadasi is? Janamashmi could come and go, right? We could slip away. Well, we might slip away Shivratri. But for Janamashmi, we could tune out. Or the rain could be falling so hard, you know, Vasudev went through the Jamuna thing, right? Till half inch of flood in the road. Can't go. Stay home. Worship God in the heart and thing. Right? The boss called us out to work. So many things. That one opportunity is past. Gone, we had to wait again. So too with all of these occasions. We are presented with 24 opportunities in the year to observe Ekadasi. 24 opportunities throughout the entire year. And to be more specific and more organized with my message, I will tell you that there are approximately 2 Ekadasi in every month. So that means about 2 weeks, right? Every 2 weeks an Ekadasi comes around. This is the amount of opportunities we have, just like today, like this one. And each Ekadasi is different. Today is Apara. We'll talk about that shortly. Today is Apara Ekadasi. But each of these 24 Ekadasi has its own name, its own title, so to speak. It has its own katha associated with it. It has its own set of specific benefits that are guaranteed if we approach and observe this Ekadasi in the correct manner. 24 times, devotees. I ask you now, is this not a wonderful opportunity repetitively presenting itself to us, that we should not speak straight, not only consider, right? But we should give great thought and develop a desire to observe. Today, the Ekadasi, like I said, is Apara. And there is, like I said, Katha and so on associated with it. And the word Apara means, I will say in a nutshell, that when we fast, we perform the necessary sacrifice on Apara Ekadasi. Any shortcomings that we have intentionally or unintentionally incurred during our lives, including, I'm not speaking for the law here, speaking spiritually, transgressions, even crimes, disrespect, omissions, offenses, things that we intended to do well but had negative consequences. All of these things, put them together. When we observe Apara Ekadasi, today's Ekadasi, it helps to alleviate some of the burden we carry on those occasions. Okay? This is what today's Ekadasi is. But what I would like to do is to set you up for every Ekadasi that comes. So I'm not going to use all of my time to speak about today's Apara Ekadasi. You keep that in mind, but keep in mind even more prominently, forcefully, that you should observe Ekadasi. I want to create a link that exists between our lives and this Ekadasi Vrat, because when we perform it, we come closer to it. Okay? This is the link that exists and how it can give us success in life. All of us, we call ourselves living beings, like I said, part of Bhagwan's kingdom or part of nature's Vishwa Prakriti. All of us are individually, we're called Jiva. We are the spark of the divine. Or we can say that we are fragments of the eternal light or Param Atma. Right? So we have a fragment of Param Atma, of the universal consciousness within our body, driving our individual consciousness. And the inherent function of ourselves, our bodies, the inherent function of the Jiva as it exists in the body, believe it or not, devotees, is twofold. One, it is to identify with and then serve. One, this is our purpose fundamentally, to identify with, and two, to serve Param Atma, which is the supreme reality. This becomes our core purpose. Think about that for a second, devotees, and just ask yourself a question a little bit tongue-in-cheek, that is our reality, our core purpose. What purpose are we actually serving? This kind of brings this link a little bit more closer for us. So we have a Jiva, and we're part of the cosmic spirituality, and within the body this Jiva exists. It is linked to spirituality. It has the attributes of spirituality, and its purpose is to become spiritual again. Is to become its core purpose, to return to its core purpose. But what happens is that our purpose, like I said, we ask ourselves what our purpose is. De facto, it could be a little bit different. Our purpose becomes covered. It becomes obscured, right, by what the sages call agyan. Now, agyan has many meanings, and typically agyan is defined as ignorance or lack of knowledge. Today, I will say that our true purpose becomes obscured. It becomes covered or artificially covered by agyan, which is forgetfulness. We tend to forget our true purpose for a little bit. And why is this so? Right? Why do we forget our purpose in this way? Is it because you're forgetful? Or is it because I careless? Or is it because somebody else is callous? Not necessarily, devotees. Listen to this tricky situation we find ourselves in life here. Okay? We find ourselves existing in the state of ajnana. We forget our true purpose. And we ask ourselves why. And the answer is broad, but can be defined very simply. And the answer is contact. We devotees experience contact with this that we see here, all around. From here, all into the stratosphere and the aerosphere, all into space and so on, right? We come into contact with the world. The world is a material element. So we come into contact with this material world, and then what happens? This contact, even though sometimes it's not by choice, we are faced now with material existence. And we get mired, we get caught in material existence. Sometimes we get trapped and mired in this material existence to a dangerous degree. A dangerous degree because we've gone too far from our core spiritual purpose. We are Jivatma, part of Paramatma, it resides in us, we're here. Okay? We have a core purpose. Our core purpose is to identify with the divine or to live at our highest level. Sometimes we don't live at the highest level because we come down here now to our regular earthly plane, right? And this contact gives us, for lack of a better term, I don't mean this literally, we become contaminated. When I say contaminated, I mean vis-a-vis spirituality. As our spiritual life should exist, we contaminate ourselves, and the true nature becomes a little bit colored, it becomes a little bit flustered. So now what happens? We become contaminated. I should not use that word. We become colored. Let's use colored. We use the colorings of materialism, right? The colors of sensations, colors of moods and all of that. We can identify with that a little bit better. We become colored in this material world now, right? By the colors of materialism. And this tends to define who we are by and large. So instead of serving the eternal Paramatma, which is our core purpose, we begin to now serve. I think you could answer this question. We begin to serve the self. We begin to seek our own interest. Not only openly and overtly, but more fundamentally and more dangerously, we begin to identify not with the self anymore, but we begin to identify with the individual. Because I sit in here and Roy sitting over there, so there are two of us, and David sitting next to Roy, so there are three individuals. But in reality, devotees, our energies are one and the same. Our energies are divine. All of us have the same Jivatma. She Jivatma better than mine, and mine are better than his. What creates the difference? This coloring of materialism is what causes the difference. And we create a sense, like I said, not of the self, but of the I, of me. And we call this, devotees, ahamkar. We call it false ego, to define it in English. This is the false ego, the alter ego of spirituality takes precedence in our lives. And we have a co-identification. I said that co-identification is spirituality. When we get colored by materialism in this way, listen to what we now start to identify with. This becomes our new identification. We identify, devotees, instead of identifying with Param Atma, we begin to identify with names and nationalities, right? We begin to identify with roles, or we begin to identify with our positions. We begin to identify with comfort. We begin to identify with our indulgences, and then we become completely colored. We become like this big mess of a rainbow. All of the colors included in one. Okay? Our new identification is not with Paramatma, but instead we identify with the colors of the worldly, the matters of the world. And as this is happening, devotees, this above situation is happening, what we create for ourselves is a series of what we now call dosh. Dosh again is a loaded word, and I don't want to be too cut and dry and say sin. So we should say imperfections or imbalances. By being colored in this way, this Jivatma, which has one true nature, one true color, right, which is transparency, it becomes colored by materialism. These colors now start to influence this sheath, this body, and it starts to accumulate dosh, or the results of imperfections in our lives. Okay? And Swami Shivananda says that this dosh that we look collectively in this way, it becomes the source of all of our sufferings in life. It becomes the source of all of our unhappiness. And you could say, how boy? This little thing could cause all our unhappiness? That can't be true. Well, the truth is, devotees, it is the root, and from these colorings everything else comes. For instance, like I say, we value our life, but when we start to all get colored in this way, all of we collectively, then we start to form relationships, and we start to value our relationships in a different way. So instead of focusing on names now, right, we focus on groups, or we focus on companies and families and titles. We focus on nations, and instead of comforts and roles and positions now, we focus on enjoyments and self-promotion and preferences. And even self-promotion, devotees, in the name of God, in the name of spirituality. This is what we could come to. This is a bit of a gory picture, but you know what? We change a little bit now, and I will say that I have shared this with you, and you know it now. We see the condition that, listen, not some of us, say all of us, just to different extents. Because the mere fact that we're born, it means that we're in this world and we have come down to the level of materialism. We have come down to the level of elements, elemental existence. So don't exclude yourself. It's a matter of degree. It's a matter of to the extent to which our lives are colored now by materialism. Okay? I've painted that picture for you. And now I will tell you that today I would like to bring this idea to a screeching halt. We bring this idea to a screeching halt and we say, right? This is us. This is you and me collectively. We acknowledge it firstly. And then we ask ourselves a question. Secondly, what is the question we ask ourselves? If we say this is us, this is you, this is me, the next question we ask is, what am I doing? What are we doing? Our teachers, our spiritualists, our gurus, devotees, they are remarkable souls. And we identify problems, but any good spiritual teacher wouldn't stop there. Someone who likes to predict, right? A seer, right, might do that. But a spiritualist identifies the problem, but then goes further and proposes a solution. And this morning, as we sit and we listen to the problems being identified in life, for those of us who choose to listen carefully to this, I will provide the answer for those of us who choose to implement the solution. How successfully, devotees, can we address this material state that we find ourselves in? I bring you another beautiful analogy. Just, devotees, as the most contaminated water. Think about the nastiest water you can think about. Green, brown, anything. The dirtiest water that we find anywhere. It can be filtered, devotees. It can be filtered and filtered and filtered again, and then distilled and become pure once more. It is a fact of science a fact of reality, a fact of tradition. Our foreparents used to do it. It is a fact of spirituality too. So the most contaminated water can be filtered and distilled and become pure again. So too, devotees, the Jivatma, this colorless, clear, transparent sheath that is built of spirituality, that is contaminated by the false ego, and that is subjected to the repercussions of dosh day in and day out. It can be purified, it can be filtered, it can be distilled back to its pure consciousness state. It is possible to do that. And even as it is a scientific material fact that water can be distilled, even as it is a tradition that we have distilled and purified water and drunk and continue to drink it, and it is a spiritual fact that we can distill the Jivatma in this way, okay? It is a methodological fact of spirituality and science and tradition that we can distill the body and the mind and clear ourselves of dosh also. You know what the filter is? The filter is Ekadasi. The filter is the Ekadasi Vrat. So if you want to please Devi Ma, go ahead and fast for Navratri. And I want you to extrapolate that example for all of the other big occasions. But you see this everyday life we live? As we go through one cycle to the next, let me just say one Ekadasi to the next, and we commit transgressions knowingly or unknowingly, or we accumulate dosh, not only in the mind and the consciousness, but in the body, biologically and medically and so on. Okay? As we accumulate that, we have the opportunity to cleanse ourselves, to plunge ourselves of it, to apply that filter and purify ourselves again. And the filter is given. The filter is Ekadasi Vrat, performing this Ekadasi. How do we do that? As time goes quickly on me once more. Same story. This is how we do it. I will tell you as briefly as I can. To observe this Ekadasi, many of us have heard and we know that we abstain from grains. No, I will tell you, and I say this to you, this is my recommendation, okay? I always say take it for what it's worth. I hope you take it. It's complicated, for Ekadasi. Don't eat rice, eat underground thing, but don't eat beets, and then don't eat bacon, and eat this and don't eat that. It's so hard to figure out. Suppose you do everything devotees, I wonder by mistake eat a piece of bacon. Right? Or a piece of bacon fall in each other and aloo. Then what happens? All turn over one day because I love piece of bacon. So I'm telling you my views here, let's not do it that way. The same energies we can take to figure out what to eat and what not to eat. Right? Let us use some of that energy and let us just fast. It will kill we. It will help us. We fast. I know there are different degrees of fasting. I cannot go there today. But I would urge you, before you say, okay, I'm going to fast for Ekadasi, fasting. Know what you're about to do. Fast properly. Fast is recommended. Then you'll get the benefits. There are a number of things the sages say here. Let me enumerate it so I want you to remember. So I say, rather than spend all of that energy on the restrictions, we fast on Ekadasi day. We refrain. That's another word. We fast, we refrain, and we practice. These are three things we do. I told you about fasting. What do we refrain from? We refrain from prohibited pleasures. Sensually, financially, and in all ways. Let's be general. The pleasures that are before us existing in life here in the world, if they are prohibited, by all means do not exercise in those actions on Ekadasi day. The pitfalls are deep. Now for those of you who there is no prohibition, And I'll speak very frankly, I hope it's not inappropriate to put it this way. Let's just say we married, then we're entitled to a certain level of pleasures. You know what I mean? Calm and so on. Then engage. If you are entitled, then you can do so. But what is the Ekadasi recommendation? To either refrain or refrain from excess. Refrain or refrain from excess. You're looking at roughly 24 hours devotees, 18 to 24 hours. Anybody could do that with the intent and the desire and of course the will. So this is our, we abstain, we fast, we refrain in this way. And what do we practice? We practice truth, we practice cleanliness, we practice mantra, and then we contemplate. We contemplate devotees on Narayan Bhagwan. Throughout this day, we contemplate on Satchidanarayan Swami. We chant in our minds, whether it be Narayana, 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 Namo Narayana Nama, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Nama, Sitaram, 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 Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham, Radhe Sham. You take your pick. The entire day should be dedicated to this. And I want to share one more important thing with you, if I might. Again, this is my advice directly to you, my recommendation to you. On such an important day, if it happens, devotees, to coincide with a birthday, Ekadasi I mean, if Ekadasi happens to coincide with your birthday, or it coincides with an anniversary, right? Or it coincides with a wedding, or worse yet, a reception, or a party of some kind, I'm urging you to abstain, because this day is held in high esteem. And when we perform lower level actions on that day, just as if we perform high actions, the benefits are magnified. When we perform low actions, devotees, the transgression is deeper. Take that as a word of caution. Not everything we hear is nice, but reality is clear. This is clear. This is reality. If Ekadasi falls on these days, then we abstain. We abstain from these lower actions. How are we going to know? Well, there are many ways to know how Ekadasi falls, right? We can get a Hindu calendar. We can check, our Jyotis if we have one. Or we, as an organization, will come forward today and provide you with that information. Just as you're looking at this live stream, at some point during today, later today, we will post an image so you could save it. Have it on your phone, you print it, whatever, of all the Ekadasi days for the year. And those are the days that you treat with great caution. You treat with great reverence beyond everything else that we do. So we will facilitate that. When devotees, we perform these actions, when we take these actions, what happens is it creates channels of discipline within the body. It creates channels of discipline, and these channels now, they flow in circuits, right? They flow in circuits within the body and they begin to connect, and it increases our willpower. It increases our sense of purpose, and it directs us overall to higher action. And that, devotees, is a wonderful place to be in life. As I have crossed my time, so I will leave you today, devotees, in the conclusion of this message. I will give you a short motto to follow for Ekadasi. So now you know about it because you heard. Later today, by tomorrow, you will have had, if you didn't have it already, all of the Ekadasi days here in the Western Hemisphere, right? We have these dates. We'll have it available to us. And now I'm going to give you a motto or a catchphrase so you know what to do on Ekadasi day. Okay? And if it's kind of cheesy, I apologize, right? I'll make it up myself. It's homemade. Sounds like something Celestita might say. On Ekadasi day, we act this way. See, it's rhyming. Man, not good. Yeah. On Ekadasi day, we act this way. Fast, kirtan, pravachan. That is it. On Ekadasi day, we fast this way. On Ekadasi day, we act this way. Sorry, I should say it from my open. On Ekadasi day, we act this way. Fast, kirtan, pravachan. On Ekadasi day, we act this way. fast, kirtan, pravachan. What that means, devotees, is on Ekadasi day we do our fast, kirtan, we chant and we sing the name of the Lord, and pravachan. What is pravachan? I urge you to do this as the third thing. Read one shlok of Bhagavad Gita. Read one half or a piece of a chaupai or a doha of Goswami Tulsidas Charitramanas. And I will even go further and say, we don't have to beat up our heads, beat up ourselves to analyze it and make sense of it. Just reading it gives you virtue. Just reading it alleviates and elevates so many things. So just do it. Read a shloka Gita, read a half of a chaupai or a full chaupai, read a doha, and then we have met the requirements. On Ekadasi day we act this way. Fast, kirtan, pravachan. We do a fast. We sing the name of the Lord and we read just a little bit of scriptures. And if we could do these, devotees, these three little things, on these days that Ekadasi occurs, we will meet the requirements and the dosh, the inhibitions that we build, the blockages that we build in life, in all areas, materially, physically, spiritually, medically, and so on. Even medically, factually it is, will be washed away. Will we take that opportunity? Is that an opportunity, devotees, worth treasuring and using? I will answer for all of us and I will say yes. I say, blessed are all of us, blessed are all of you to engage in this message, to take it and be granted the opportunity to practice it. I hope you do. Boliye Sri Satya Narayan Swami Ki Jai. So it's 10 o'clock, 10:06. Alright, and in our tradition, sometimes in Sri Vishnu Sahasranam Mandir, we go over a little bit. So we go over a little bit today, just a few minutes. Devotees, I hope it's okay with you, because my desire is to tag this message on with a beautiful message in bhajan. This bhajan, devotees, this morning we did all the old stuff, right? The old bhajans and so on. We'll end in this way too. It's a beautiful bhajan if I understand correctly, came from where our ancestors came from in North India, the Bhojpur region. It doesn't sound like there is only Bhojpuri in here, but there is some, and that is evidence. And this bhajan is so beautiful, we hear it so many times. It is a call to action. You have been given the Vrat, devotees, and now we have to act on it. This bhajan comes and gives us a beautiful situation in which to place ourselves. It says, Utho jag musafir. We are all the travelers on the road of life. It says, Utho jag, wake up. Bhor bhaye. Morning, the dawn of enlightenment has risen. Ab rain kaha jo sovat hai. Why are you still asleep in the night of delusion? Sovat hai. It is time to wake up. I know many of you know this bhajan. I don't sing it quite often, so even though I can't hear you, join in, right? Help me. Let us all put our voices together. I'm sure collectively, how much ever of us are here now listening, all wherever we are, we can do justice to this bhajan. We sing. उठ जाग मुसाफिर भोर भये अब रैन कहा जो सोवत है उठ जाग मुसाफिर भोर भये अब रैन जो सोवत It says जो जागत है सो पावत है जो जागत है whoever is awake will benefit. The sun will shine on you if you're awake. जो सोवत है सो खोवत है जो सोवत है सो खोवत है. If you sleep, you lose. जो सोवत है तो खोवत है उठ जाग मुसाफिर भोर भये. उठ नींद से अखियाँ खोल जरा उठ नींद से अखियाँ खोल जरा और अपने प्रभु करण की रीत नहीं, यह प्रीत करण की रीत नहीं। प्रभु जागत है तू सोवत है, उठ जाग। So we got the message, and how many of us are thinking, well, yeah, today done start already, we done cook and thing, we go start from next Ekadasi. We are going to do this one. Next one we go pick up, right? Listen to what the bhajan says. Jo kal karna so aaj kar le. What is to do tomorrow, do it today. And what is to do today? Do it now. This is what the bhajan says, devotees. How beautiful. जो कल करना सो आज कर ले, तो आज करना तो अब कर ले। जो कल करना तो आज कर ले, जो कल करना सो आज कर ले, तो आज करना तो अब कर ले। जब चिड़ियों ने जुग खेत लिया, जब चिड़ियों ने जुग ये खेत लिया, फिर पछता ये क्या खोवत है, फिर पछता ये क्या खोवत है। उठ जाग मूसा, फिर पछताए तो खोवत है। It says, what is to do tomorrow, do it today. What is to do today, do it now. Because when that time has passed and the opportunity is lost, फिर पछताए क्या खोवत है। What use is there crying and regretting at that point? Let us act. It goes on and it says, नादान भुगत करनी अपनी, नादान भुगत करनी अपनी, नादान भुगत करनी अपनी। अब पापी पाप में चैन कहा, अब पापी पाप में चैन कहा। जब पाप की गठरी शीस धरी, अब शीस पकड़ क्यों रोवत है। उठ जाग मुसाफिर, वो प्राणी पी क्या पानी है, वो प्राणी पी क्या प्राणी है। जिससे सीने में राम नहीं, जिसके सीने में राम नहीं। ना जीवन फिर मिल पाएगा, ना जीवन फिर मिल पाए क्या। क्यों पाप तू प्राणी खोवत है। उठ जाग मुसाफिर भोर भये। So I remind you as we close now. Uth jaga, awake to the secrets in our scriptures. The clearest, most easily achievable is before you today, Ekadasi. Don't wait till the next one. Do it now. The benefits will be so great. And over time, exponentially as we perform it, our lives devotees will be complete. Don't we want that? Isn't that why we're here, why we're listening? Isn't that why we're praying? We just need to develop the willpower to commit. And I have faith. I have faith that you have it. And you will. अब राय ने कहा जो सोवत है, do not stay asleep in the night of inaction. Let us awaken, and as we end, we chant the name of Narayan Bhagwan. We conclude a few moments. Satya Narayana 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 Satya Narayana 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 Satya Narayana Satya Narayana Narayana अब रैन कहाँ जो सोवत है। सत्यनारायण स्वामी की जय. I want to say a word of blessing to all of you devotees for joining this morning, and of course I appreciate the few moments extra so that we can complete our devotions not only to the consciousness but the heart's content in chanting the name of the Lord. If you prepare your arati, I ask you to please now stand. We join in our brief final arati and closing mantra. Vishaya vikara mitao पाप हरो देवा, श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ संतन की सेवा. ओम जय तुम मात पिता तुम मेरे, शरण गहूँ मैं किसकी, तुम बिना पालन करता, स्वामी तुम पालन दीन दयालु कृपालु, कृपा करो भरता. तुम हो एक गोचर सबके प्राणपति, किस विधि मिलो दया दीपं गृहाण देवेश त्रैलोक्य तिमिरापहम्. ओम त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम. श्री परमात्मा नमः. ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर, गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म, तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. बोले श्री गजानन स्वामी की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, शक्ति जगदम्बा माता की जय. बोलिए श्री पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय. बोलिए श्री सत्यनारायण स्वामी की जय. बोलिए श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. बोलिए श्री सीताराम चंद्र की जय. सूर्य नारायण स्वामी की जय. बोले भाई सब संतन की जय. प्रेम से बोले श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय. Blessings to devotees. I want to say a word of blessing to all of you for joining. I want to say a word of blessing also to Rushan Ramdeen for allowing access to this devotion through his medium, his station, his company, Swag Sangeet HD. Blessings to you and your staff also. Blessings to everyone who has joined from far distances. I want to urge you devotees to continue to support Dharma Inc. in its work. Support your organizations, support your mandirs, wherever you might be. I want to remind you that Dharma Inc. has a collection of great resources that you can make use of to sing along with Sunday morning devotions and so on. You can go ahead and make use of that by visiting dharmainc.net. I want to say a word of blessing this morning once again to Roy Das for joining on tabla, Devi, always here chorusing, to my boys, and of course everyone who has helped in whatever way to make our devotions this morning a success. Devotees, I urge you to be careful. I urge you to be prayerful. I urge you to be considerate as we go through this week. I wish you a safe and spiritual week ahead. And of course, on behalf of all members of Dharma Inc., Sri Vishnu Sahasranam Mandir, I say Sitaram. Jai Sitaram.